Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. We eat sandwiches and play games. Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. A podcast for everyone's day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Taste the Dragons, the Toddcast, the video game podcast that all you Highlanders listen to. And this week, Joe is slaying some demons. The news is the only thing we want to talk about this week. And finally, Hassel's back with Volume 2 of Now That's What I Call Video Games. And as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Lewis.
I'm Hassel.
And I'm Joe.
Hey, everyone. Apologies if in the background there's some raining. It is the sky's not happy with us today.
It's raining. That's what it is.
That Florida snow. Wintertime.
Exactly.
Florida snow.
Florida snow. Wow, that's good.
That's absolutely what it is.
Do you want to build a rain man?
Yeah.
Florida snow sounds like something that we probably shouldn't talk about on the podcast.
Would
You know what?
Would you like to explain to the folks at home, Hassel, what reference you're making?
Please explain further.
In
No,
the
please
hit
don't.
documentary, Cocaine Town.
We should know. Nope, we're good.
Remember that movie Scarface?
I had no idea what we were talking about until right now.
In Florida, winter is always coming.
Yeah.
Winter's always around the
It's always here. It's always here.
Yeah.
It's always there.
Yeah. You know how many Jon Snows I've met in Florida?
Oh, you know the Jon Snow too?
You know that one?
On
Oh,
85th? Okay.
Always
Wait,
got
wait,
that backpack.
Troy, who's your Jon Snow?
I can't say. I can't say online.
He's got the purple
Sorry.
backpack, the orange one. Which one is it? But yeah, we're back. We're gonna be talking about some things. We got everyone. The whole crew is back to talk about stuff.
Yeah,
talk
all
about
six
video
of us.
games.
All
That's
six
right.
dragons.
Man, it's crazy. It's like two hydras.
Oh, or one Hydra.
With six heads.
One with six
Yeah,
heads.
there you go. Could be.
Yeah.
But as always, let's start with our question.
Ooh.
And our question this week is actually from me because I'm curious.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with video games. But I was just wondering, since it's the beginning of the year and a lot of people do different things for people.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite charity that you champion for or donate to? You know, one of those things that you hear about and you're like, oh yeah, they're actually really good, or you actually even donate to throughout the year.
I do too.
Okay.
One of them. I feel like it doesn't count. But I do actually donate to Wikipedia because I would like
I do
to
too.
I do
continue.
too, actually. Yeah, I got that $5 or $15 every single year.
I look at it and I'm like, so much knowledge I've just based on what's on that. Whether it's accurate or not doesn't matter. But I'm with you, Amanda.
That's true.
But I also donate to Child's Play, which is a charity that donates games to children in hospitals. Which, I mean, you didn't want this to be about video games, but I'm going to make it about video games.
That's fine.
And one of the things they do is like when the pandemic started, they bought like Switches for kids who were like stuck in hospital beds, so they had like video games to play. They used to do. I mean, I'm sure they still do. They do puzzles and board games, and depending on the age of the child, they'll have different age appropriate games.
Oh, nice.
And it's called Child's Play.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunate name.
No, it's a great
The
name.
most
name.
fortunate of me.
That's the best
Unfortunate.
name.
I say unfortunate because it
What are you
makes me
talking
think
about?
of Chucky.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah,
it seems
that's
very
even better.
unfortunate.
Oh.
Really? Because that seems
Yeah.
horrifying.
That's rad.
I thought you weren't a fan of Drake's #1 hit a couple of years ago called Child's Play.
You know, Lewis, big Drake hater.
You know me. I'm always keeping track
No,
of
I
Drake to not like him.
I don't think you get it. They're children, and they play the game.
I get
uh-huh.
So
that.
child.
I 100% get that.
Okay.
But you get the movie
I haven't seen it.
from. You're a liar.
I don't like horror movies, so I haven't seen it, but I do understand
But
your
you do
reference.
know it.
But
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the sake of this bit, no, I haven't seen it.
And what are you talking about? For myself, actually, I donate to code.org. It is a organization both through myself and also Amazon. If you don't know, if you order anything on Amazon, which I'm sure 99% of us do, if you type in smile.amazon.com, it brings you to their charity site, and everything still costs the same. It's just that they donate proceeds from what you buy towards a charity. And you can you can choose from a whole bunch of different ones. I choose co.org as well through that. So yeah, in case you didn't know, just do that. Just type in smile before Amazon, and you're good.
What is the code.org?
But code.org, what it does is it teaches children, mainly middle schoolers and high schoolers, how to code.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's free resources. for both students and educators. If you need help getting started, or if you need help with anything, they have resources. They have people to help you out with it. And I think it's great because coding is definitely where a lot of things are going now.
Yeah, because coding plus time equals video games.
Yes, and money.
And money.
For people who are doing it.
Not always, but yeah.
But yeah, it's a fantastic resource. They've been around for, I want to say, over a decade. I can't remember the exact time they started, but they've been around for a while. And so it's definitely something that's awesome. So, but yeah, that's cool.
That is pretty cool.
Anybody else?
I'm kind of a donation butterfly.
Okay.
Like I don't.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Like
you.
you're running over, you're gonna kiss this charity, and you're gonna kiss that charity, and you're like, mwah.
I am us. I think sucker is the wrong word for this, but like if I just see like a cause and it's just like donate to this now, like
You'll do
$5,
it.
I'm like boom there. It could be like a big organization, or it could be the GoFundMe's that are happening, either personal people I know or people that I don't know. That's just like, here's the thing that's happened, and it's like, all right, you know what? Here, $5. So I kind of just put out kind of $5 all over the place throughout the year when I feel able to. But one thing that I do consistently, like every November or so, I didn't do it this last year, but normally every November, is I donate to Extra Life, which is usually part of like a big gaming marathon. I got into it through giantbomb.com. They do like a 3-day long marathon. And I usually donate through that source. Mm-hmm. And I believe all the proceeds go to the Children's Miracle Network and a bunch of different hospitals that will be benefiting from those donations.
Yeah.
So that's like probably the only consistent one that it's like every year.
That's called Extra Life?
Yeah.
Also good name.
It's a good name. That's a good name. That's a good name. For
Fantastic.
Yes, that is a good name.
I think ever since my tortoise got brought back to me,
Oh, that's
like
right.
12 years ago,
Yeah.
I think I was down. I donate to the Florida Fish and Wildlife.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Foundation, and it's usually one of those like $25 a year kind of a thing. Like they send you, a letter and like, hey, it's us again. And I'm like, hey, thanks for bringing my tortoise back to me. I appreciate that. You guys deserve every penny. If I could give you more, I would.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. I think we've done like zoos before as well.
Oh yeah. I'm like Troy. I'm kind of a sucker. If
Sucker,
there's like literally an animal, anything. If we're in some store and they're like, give $5 to whatever, and I'm like, okay,
Done.
take my
Done.
money.
You
I
got
don't
me.
need this
You
$5
got
that
me.
bad. Nobody needs coffee that bad. Take this. Make those little baby puppies eat.
Put the coffee back on the shelf.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, it's happened every time. One of them are like, would you want to put $1 in for teaching kids to read, or like getting books to school?
Oh,
I'm
the
like,
dollar
they
stuff at
get
the
me.
store? That's
Oh,
easy.
They
man,
get
yeah.
me every time.
Man.
They get Brian every time.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you want to round up?
The
It goes to this
roundup?
charity. I'm like, do it. Just
The roundup's double good because I'm donating money, but also I prefer round numbers. So if they were
It's
like, do you
clean.
want me to
It's
round this up
clean.
and I get to keep the money? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. I would prefer it.
And I've heard a lot of people be angry about the roundup stuff because it's one of those things that the store is the one that gets the money and the store is the one that donates. So like they're the
so
ones
you
that
get
get like
taxes.
the tax
Yeah.
refund.
That's
But
always
it's the double-sided sword because it's also like, they're still gonna get the money. I don't care. Like it's still I don't care.
Yeah.
If they're that bad off, they need to pocket this. Then okay.
Like, no, it's a corporate loophole. It's
a corporate
Yeah, that's
loophole.
what it is.
They're paying our money instead of their money, but
That is the hard side about donating companies is you have to kind of vet and
Yeah.
see
Oh yeah.
where that money's going.
It's kind of the same. It's the same thing with like Facebook. Whenever like you post like, oh, I'm for my birthday this month.
Oh,
I
yeah,
want to go
Facebook
ahead and
does do
donate to that.
Uh-huh.
Like it's all in good conscience, right? Like you're donating to a great organization, but the fact is like Facebook is actually making that donation under their name, so it does go into their taxes as a charitable donation. Which is
I understand now.
yeah
Sneaky.
I have a soft spot for like all animals. So what I've done for the past like I want to say maybe like 8 or 9 years is I everywhere that I live I actually look for a like humane society or like a rescue organization, and I'm able to like donate to them. There's a rescue organization out of Philadelphia called Philly Rescue Angels that I've been donating pretty consistently to because they get me. they'll post pictures of these sad little dogs. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to give you $50 to buy these dogs, like puppy pads and all that stuff. Come on. How am I not going to do that?
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Those sad dog commercials that are going to come on TV, like, I have to get up and walk away. In the arms of the angel starts
Arms of the
playing,
angel.
I have
Yep,
to
there
walk
it is.
away from the television. I can't even watch. Like, it doesn't work for me. So I hear you. I hear you, my friend.
Yeah. I since I started seeing an accountant every year for my taxes and not doing it myself, now it is a question that he asks me every year. He's like, hey, have you donated this much to like a charity organization? And I'm like, oh, well, yes, I have.
Yeah.
Here are the receipts.
I did.
Nice. That's great.
I feel like Kickstarter should count. I know
Right?
it doesn't.
It
Because I'm
doesn't,
funding people's
but-
dreams. I'm not getting. I mean, I am getting something
Yeah, I
back.
was
But
about to say,
I mean,
there's
I
one
might-
fundamental.
I might. Get
Yeah, I was going to say, you
something
might
back.
get something, yeah. I've had plenty of charity
Yeah.
Kickstarters that I didn't know was charity at the time.
This is never happening.
Yep. And then finally, Lewis,
on.
do you have anything?
I am unashamed to say that I have so little money, I cannot give it away to other people who need money.
And that's
Because
fine.
I need money.
That's fine. Do you have any organizations that you like? Or, like any playwriting things?
I
or-
mean, I guess. I mean, there's like you can make donations to like a dramatist guild, which is specifically for writers within the theater, and
Right on.
and things like that. I mean, mind you, again, I don't make donations to
Yeah,
them.
that's fine.
Is there a company that you've gotten a grant from that is donation based?
You know what? I haven't reached that level yet to receive a
Oh,
grant
okay,
from any
okay.
company. I just applied to like 20 in the last week, and I'm like, if I get one of those, then I will just be boosting them. Hey guys, donate to them.
so stay tuned for whichever
Stay
grant.
tuned for whatever
Lewis
grant
gets.
I might get. Actually, you know what? I did get an emergency fund grant from Dramatist Guild. So
Okay,
boom.
there's that.
Oh, there
Nice.
you go.
Yeah, because I said, hey, I have no money.
Yeah.
Can I have some? They said, how much do you want? This much. Yeah, we'll give you all of it. Don't worry, baby.
Oh, that's
awesome.
nice. That's
It's been
very
a rough
nice.
couple years for artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you need it, we can set up a donation thing at Witcher.tech. I have the website.
Toss a coin to your Lewis.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Lewis, I might start a GoFundMe for a show I'm trying to put together.
Called Witcher.tech.
Yes.
The Witcher, but he works as a tech. He's
Yeah.
working IT somewhere.
No, he went after Siri and he got stuck in Cyberpunk.
It's me dressed as a Witcher at computers.
He's actually
different
right,
offices.
yeah.
He's actually trying to rescue Siri from Apple.
Yeah.
Because he just doesn't realize
There you
the
go.
correlation.
It's me dressed as a
Yeah.
Witcher
Yeah.
in different
Yeah.
Apple stores.
Oh God,
That's all it
guys,
is.
I get all of these conversations. It's so good.
Damn it, Hassel. Damn it.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you guys so much for answering that. So it's just a question because, it's that time of year. It's that time of year we all think about it. And
yeah.
I was curious. So thank you guys for answering. If one of those struck a chord with you, donate. And if not, hey, it's fine. We still do it. But let's get into the episode this week. And this week, Joe, what are you playing?
I have been playing Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles on the PS5.
Hey, slay those demons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of game is this?
This is a battle arena fighter. So I was in the mood earlier on last year. I wanted to play Naruto again, and I was really itching for some Gekko Ninja Taisen, which they don't make anymore. But the company out of Fukuoka, Japan, named Kabushi Shiki Gaisha Saba Konikuto Tsu.
That's too long.
CyberConnect 2. So that company is the ones that made all the Ultimate Ninja Storms, and I really liked those, even though I didn't like them as much as Gekko Ninja Taisen.
Right.
But I was really itching for a fighter because I was playing
And those
Forza
are
for so
pretty
much.
games.
Oh, they're
Oh, yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
and
they
that's
are really pretty.
That's kind of the winner of this, the winner of all of the CyberConnect games. They're usually gorgeous. They made the Dot Hack games. They made Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. They made Demon
Oh, wow.
Slayer. Yeah, they've made a bunch of them where the idea is that you're kind of watching the anime as you're fighting through all of these things. And Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles, was coming out, and I was kind of like, oh, this is perfect. I liked that the manga. I liked the show. I didn't know that much about it because I was only reading the manga. I hadn't watched all of the show at that point, or all of it that was out at that point. And the Mugen Train movie had been coming out, and I really wanted to watch that because it looked really cool.
Yeah.
And so I finally got to see the movie. And I was like, wow, I'm like super hyped for this game. If you listened to last year, I think around November last year, I think I talked about it like every week. I was like, I am hyped, guys. I need this game to come out so I can play this game.
Yeah.
So it came out and I played it and it was phenomenal. The game was really, really great. It had a bunch of open areas where they kind of gave you places to play in the anime, for like towns from the anime, like the Akatsuka streets and like a couple of villages, and you would run around as the different characters in this area. I say run very lightly. You would slowly meander your way through.
You would saunter.
You would saunter, but they would make it look like the animation was running, and I don't know why. They should have added a sprint button.
Look,
It's like you look like you're moving fast, but you're really slow.
Moving slowly.
Sometimes you just need to stop and smell the demons.
Right, and
Yeah.
that's exactly
Right.
what Tanjiro does.
What's like the elevator pitch on Demon Slayer? I don't know much of anything about the anime.
The short of it all. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Summarize an entire anime.
I don't. No, it's not that. I don't want to spoil anything past the first episode.
Oh yeah.
So
Just like
it's more. I'm
what
thinking
is
about
it?
what I can say. So ultimately, there is a young man.
Mm-hmm.
He has a family. They are wonderful people. They live up in the snowy mountains. And he goes away one day to go into town to sell his wares. And he goes into the town to sell the charcoal. It takes an entire day to leave, and it takes an entire day to come back. His family they're all very wonderful. They're kind people. There's other people that live up in the mountains. He gets kind of trapped in the snow on his way back home. And a nice person, a nice old man says, hey, do you want to stay in my house? He goes, yeah, sure, I'll stay in your house. He wakes up in the middle of the night hearing like weird sounds. And he's like, oh no, what is that? He has a very innate sense of smell. He can smell like
demons.
For lack of anything else, yes, you are correct. But he can smell if the wind is changing. He can smell if there is blood in the air. He can smell if the storm is coming. He can smell if there is charcoal burning off in the distance. He just has a very innate sense of smell.
That would be horrible.
Yeah, I don't want to
Right?
smell that much.
Especially back then. No.
Right?
I smell too much right now.
He hears weird sounds. He hears kind of an odd rustling happening, and he gets out of the man's house, and there's like a weird shape that happens and kind of like shakes off a tree and jumps off, and he's like, what was that? He's like, I gotta go home. There's something in the woods that's kind of out stalking things. And he's like, I gotta get home to my mom and my two little sisters, my little brothers. And so he gets home, and the horrible scene that he sees is, I couldn't even describe it. The manga doesn't even do a good enough job showing it.
Think Mortal Kombat. Remember the movie that just came out with the family?
Sure. I don't remember much of that movie, but I'm
you're
guessing the
off
family
that
is slaughtered.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, very,
Okay.
very
All
much
right.
so.
Yeah.
Very,
Gotcha.
very much so. And it is only the color of snow and only the color of blood. Those are the only two colors you have basically to work with in all of these panels that you are looking at. And it is just a very sad moment. And he's breaking down and he's crying, and he doesn't know where one of his little sisters is. He can't find her body. And he runs off into the woods. He sees something. He smells something. He sees something, and he goes to stop it. And then a person shows up, and this person slays this thing in front of him. This weird, demonic, like crazed aura of a thing that was in the woods. And he, as he stands there and he looks at the person who slayed this demon essentially in front of him, he's like in awe. But he also realizes, I need to find my sister. And he turns and he looks, and his sister has been turned into a demon.
Oh no!
So this guy that just slayed this other
Anime.
demon turns to his sister to attack her, and a really amazing fight ensues. The animation is beautiful, and the way they stylistically do it is that you can feel everything this character is feeling by just the little bits of tears. He's a really positive role model for like young people to see, that it's a character that can laugh, he can cry, and he only wants to see the good in everything.
So is this like a young? No, he's like
a
a
young
family
man.
He's a young man.
He's like
young father.
He's a young man. He really
Okay.
is. But he could be. You could say he was in his like late teens,
I was gonna
early
say
20s.
late. I think he's in late teens.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
But
okay.
it because of the time period this takes place in, it takes place in an olden times. Like he's a young man. He's gonna have his own family.
I gotta say,
someday.
this is a much more remarkable setup than I was expecting. Like I was given from the makers of like they made the Naruto games. I was
Right.
expecting to be like plucky boy does stuff with like slays demons, but this
Nope.
is
No,
It's-
the
a
show's
little more.
The show's very dark. The manga's
dark,
very darker, and it takes a lot of really harsh emotional like turns in it. And that's I've literally only explained I think the first 10 minutes of the show.
Yep.
Okay.
The first
basically
book
ends
of
up
the
being
manga.
basically
You got
ends up
me.
being his sister is a demon, but she can control it because of her love for her brother. So
Okay.
she ends up just traveling around. If you ever seen the pictures of the girl with the bamboo over her mouth, I don't know. If you might have.
If you ever see the pictures, it's so basically the story is about a brother and a sister, and he is trying to find some way to make it so that she will not be a demon or can control herself to be herself again because she cannot talk.
Okay.
She's demon enough to where she's been turned, but not enough to where she's willing to hurt people.
So how does this translate into the game?
So,
with like
the very opening of the game is that.
Fantastic.
They have you play through these moments, and they have you play through this moment in time where so he finds his sister. Things happen. Like, I don't want to ruin a whole lot because if you do end up watching it, it's kind of amazing how they take a very old trope and give it just new blood. It really works very well. Ha ha. But ultimately, the game opens up. You live through that experience, and you live through a moment where he ends up meeting these demon slayers, and there's not a lot of them because they die quite quickly and quite easily a lot of the time. And there's a person who he meets that is an old wise sage, and this man teaches him how to control what he can smell and use his chakra, basically his chi. And how to make kind of almost like a superpower out of slashing a sword, and his would be bringing waves upon things. Some people have lightning bursts, some people have fire. Sure. So the game gives you an open arena at first to kind of run through this trial that he goes through. And if you've ever watched Naruto or played any of those games, he was going through the Chunin exams. It's basically what it is. But he and many other students, of which if you watch the anime and read the manga, you didn't know what some of the characters you're going to fall in love with later were doing, and they put those characters into the beginning of it and kind of showed you what was going on with them. There's one character that's a complete coward, and he runs upon that character in the game, in this open arena, in this open world that he's running through, and you get to see this person freaking out, and he's like, I'll help him out. And the way they made this game is amazing. They made, I think it's 30 plus different demons in the game that you only face once. Oh. They're in these different open world areas and these big arenas, and they're all unique. They have their own unique skill set. And they all look different. They have different voices. The whole game is voice acted as in Japanese and in English.
Nice.
And it's very good. The sound is amazing in the game. You can hear footsteps. You can hear things going on around you. It's really fun, especially if you like the anime or you like the show. You get to kind of relive a whole bunch of moments where you're in control of the boss fights, a lot of the big bad demons. They made specific stages, and this is one of the upsides and the downsides. So there's a versus mode that's regular, and then there's a story mode. The story mode has these amazing bosses in it where they created these seamless quick time events that are awesome super powered things are happening, but in the middle of you swiping through, it'll be it's you've figured out what's the thing on this stage of the boss. We're going to give you a quick time event, tap these buttons, and it's completely seamless, and it's like watching an anime that you are controlling. It's like watching it.
Yeah.
It really is so cool. But that's the downside also. They made these stages only for story mode. You can't fight the bosses outside of story mode. You can't fight in those stages outside of story mode. And all that I liked it. I did not go into the deep minutia of the game. The game is made well enough to where if you are not a competitive player, you could smash buttons and have a good time. Yeah, it's going to be a little harder for you, but you don't really need to know what you're doing to kind of win. But if you want to S rank everything, there's a lot of minutia, and there's a lot of direct parrying and all this really crazy, very sophisticated technical stuff you can do. It has a great online community of people who are really into tournaments and stuff with it. It's a great game.
So by battle arena, do you mean that you're going up against another live player or potentially another live player and fighting each other, or is this more there's a
3D.
Bunch of
arena means
computer
3D.
People? Okay.
So you can do both. You can play the CPU, you can play the computer, and you can just play story mode in these arenas, or you can play in in fighting games, arenas are a 3D aspect of it, so the camera can move to all the angles in it, which is pretty good. The game does very well if you're playing it on the PS5, and I've heard if you play it on the Xbox, it's great. If you play this game on the PS4, apparently this is the worst game ever.
Oh, no.
The lag is 5 to 7 frames behind. It's impossible to play.
Take another hit,
online,
Sony.
Yeah, it's
not a good week for Sony.
You know what? They're doing fine. We'll get there. But the arena portion of it is that you can still only play 1v1. But there's a side character you can pull in, and you can have characters fly in from the other screens. And it's pendant on the matches and the pairs you make with the characters. They could have completely opposite effects to each other. Playing with characters that actually work well together in the show, or it actually they have boosts and they have things that happen. It's It's really fun.
Well, what I
had a great
loved
time.
so much about those old Naruto games, which Amanda bought me like 3 of them, I think, is a lot of animes do benefit from having like a really lovely roster of characters you love. So it's great when a game can have you pick one of those characters, but also bring in like these 2 other characters to either help do a move or fight with you, or even like tag out and then they fight. Like the more ways you can invoke that kind of team aspect of coming together and defeating a problem, I think it just makes it for a much more I don't know, authentic, or it makes it feel more like the anime.
It does.
Yeah.
This whole game visually is stunning, and it looks like you are playing through what you could have seen already. And if you get to the Mugen Train arc of it, it is like it's like they made a game before they made the Mugen arc one, and then they were like, we're gonna put 2 games in this. This is another story zone that's completely different with completely different bad guys. And if you and at that point, I hadn't watched the series that went with the Mugen Train. I'd only seen the movie. Yeah. And there was so much cool stuff that was from the series that hadn't aired here yet.
Right.
And it was like seeing bits and pieces of things that I didn't know why characters were there. There was things in the background going on. It's like, these are those things. They were in the game. And I was very blown away with how pretty the game was. It was a lot of fun to play. I had a great time with it, and that's what I've been playing lately.
I am currently looking at screenshots of the game because I was very interested about it. I am very impressed with this, I don't know what else to call it, a boarhead boy.
Yeah, Inosuke's great.
Yes.
Forehead boy.
He has the most beautiful face.
You have
so good.
You sold me with that. You sold me with that premise of watching the show.
He also
I would
sells
be
jelly
interested.
meats.
Wait, what? Boarhead? They're so pricey, but good.
They're good.
It's pricey.
They're worth it.
The
It's
cracked
worth it.
pepper.
It's worth it.
And, I mean, I remember only seeing that opening part of the anime. I haven't seen the show at all. I saw that opening bit, and I was like, oh, man, it's going to be a vengeance story, isn't it? Vengeance kind of redemption story.
It's not.
No, that's what it felt
and that's
like.
what's
I know.
shocking.
I know. That's what it felt like
feels
with that
like
opening.
that's where it's going, and
Yeah.
it's there's so many twists and turns to the way that the story is told, and I think this game does a great job with all of those twists and turns. Like
Fantastic.
It's great, and if you get a chance, play it. It's fun.
Do we have any sandwich ideas?
Oh my
for,
gosh, this
Demon
is
Slayer?
This is a bento. And
Wait, what's a bento?
A bento box is a
bento
Japanese
box.
lunchbox.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like this is a bento, and you just constantly say "oishi" every time you eat one of them, like orange.
Delicious.
If you've seen the show, you understand why that's great. But it's a bento box, and it is like a 5 out of 5 bento.
But bento
box.
boxes
yeah.
also have the tiny little pork sandwiches in it as well.
Oh,
The little.
it could be a katsu. No, it's not a katsu box. Though.
No, I'm just saying, but it could have one of those,
It
like a little
could.
tiny one in
Is
it.
it like a surprise? Do you open these boxes and it's just like
If
a
you don't
loot
read
box
Japanese,
of
yes.
sandwiches?
If you don't read
Absolutely.
If you don't read Japanese, huge surprise.
I love it.
I've had so many surprise bento boxes.
Why is it? Why is it this? It had a picture of a pig on it. Why is it shrimp?
Oh well,
Oh well.
It's still
Why
delicious.
is it moving? Why is it moving?
I'll take it.
Oh wait, I'm on a train. That's
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 why.
fine.
That's the
why.
movie.
Mickey
I'm
Benz.
moving.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jim.
Anytime.
So now that brings us to our news segment. And,
Hefty news.
Yeah, it's just one thing, because we only need one thing this week because it's the biggest thing. So I feel like last week I brought up the Zynga getting bought, which was at the time the largest video game deal.
$12
$12 billion.
Whoa,
Then I brought up how the
huge.
other ones were like $8 billion.
Crazy.
And all these other things. And I was like, man, they just keep on topping each other. Well, Microsoft came in this week and was like, hey, remember that measly $12 billion deal?
They were like, hold my beer. Hold my beer.
Hold my billion.
hold my couple of billions, because this is worth $68.7 billion.
Yep.
They are trying to acquire Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
Oh my
happened.
goodness.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So, but what's crazy to me even more is that this is a $68.7 billion acquisition. Even with this acquisition, they're still only the third largest game creator.
Yeah.
Behind Sony at number 2.
Yeah.
And Tencent at number 1.
I was gonna say, I'm like, who's above that? I'm like, is Sony still above that?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I guess
'Cause
so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that is all of China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
China and Japan. So, but yeah, this is still a monster deal.
Yeah, I don't know about you all, but I saw that and I was like my jaw dropped immediately. I was like, oh my gosh, like $70 billion, almost $70 billion on Activision Blizzard. And then I was like, Yeah, you know what? All right, that sounds like Microsoft. I don't know.
Yeah.
We had talked about it on Dragon's Dish this week that if you take into account that was $70 billion that was spent this week on Activision Blizzard, and Disney bought Star Wars and Marvel for technically under $10 billion. One of them was $4 billion and one of them was $5 billion.
Which is
mind you, this was like 10 years ago. $1 billion meant
Still
a lot more.
insane.
Yeah.
But it's still like Star Wars and the Marvel properties.
Yeah.
Those are $4 billion
Those
each,
are-
actually.
I think one of them was
Oh
$5
my
billion, one was
God.
$4 billion, I think. But either way, like way under.
Marvel's
Way
like,
under.
man, we could have at least gotten like, I don't know, 10.
Right?
Damn. Dang, man.
Yeah.
Why didn't Microsoft buy us?
Right.
Disney.
But it's crazy though, but
what-
it makes complete sense.
Yeah,
though.
let's set the stage for why they're buying Activision Blizzard a little.
Yeah.
As we have talked about here, Activision Blizzard has been embroiled in many lawsuits concerning an unfair workplace, sexual harassment, and like a bro culture.
Yes.
I think that's
culture.
actually
Yeah, the
in
hate
the
frat
Yes, it is.
culture.
Yeah.
Quote
Yeah.
unquote hazing bro culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And things have just kind of been spiraling more and more, and their stocks have been dropping. People have been leaving and getting fired.
I know you said stocks, but it
I
did sound
heard
like you
socks.
said socks.
Oh.
I heard socks, and my thought was, is that a term or phrase I don't know of?
Yeah, when
It's
they
a-
come to
yeah,
terms
it's-
doing well, their
guys-
socks drop.
It's
I
a
like
business
that.
term.
It's a business term,
Yeah.
please.
It's a stock market. You ever been to a stock hop? Lots of good money there.
Their turnip
Lots
prices are
of good money to be
terrible
made.
right now.
But it was Activision has pretty much put all of their existing projects on hold because they're being sued by California. They're being looked into by the government, the U.S. government,
Yep.
on top of a lot of other litigation that's happening, and on top of that. Their game sales have also been kind of waning and stagnating between Call of Duty and Overwatch and Warcraft. They've been Diablo even. They've been putting out different reboots that haven't been selling well.
Yep.
And like even without all of the lawsuits, they were already in kind of a weird place where they were declining.
Yeah.
So
They're losing a lot of talent.
losing
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
They
great
had
talent.
some good managers leave, and also lots of employees left.
Lots of leads.
Yeah.
Lots of lead people dropped out.
And so, like, we talked about it on here of how does Blizzard and Activision get out of this? And we were like, well, they just got to go all the way. Just burn it all to the ground, bankrupt,
Yeah.
start over, because there is no other way to come out of this. And apparently there was.
There was.
There was.
A crazy buyout.
Yeah.
This gives me a little bit of hope for them in that regard, is because I feel like the only way to fix this is for their management to realize that someone in management is the problem. Like, this doesn't happen without like something happening.
There's
at
now
the top.
somebody else above
But yeah,
them.
now that not only is there someone that they report to, but there are other people in similar positions. So I'm hoping that they move folks around
Yeah.
so that people who felt disenfranchised can now report to different people,
Mm-hmm.
and that they can get, maybe a more experienced HR department to come in and then like actually like get
Do
the
something.
help that
Yeah.
actually make real change.
I feel like there's quite a few good things that will come
Yeah.
from this, and that's definitely one of the ones I'm definitely hoping for.
Yeah, one of the things I really enjoyed about their press release about doing it, at least on Microsoft's end, was at the very bottom of their letter, they had their Xbox gaming division heads, and pretty much all of them were women. They were people of color. They were all this. It was just diversity.
It was
the picture.
beautiful diversity in the picture.
Yeah.
And it's just how it should be, just everywhere. And so I really enjoyed that was their ending thing of it. And I was like, yeah, because that's how Microsoft has been operating for forever, or at least for a really long time. Let me put it that way.
We don't own an Xbox, but I still really enjoy reading things by Phil Spencer and hearing from him. I feel
Yeah.
like I really enjoy his
Gosh,
vision
he's
for
so
the
great.
company. Yeah.
Phil Spencer's
Yeah.
just a good dude.
He's a good dude.
He is.
Good dude.
Phil Spencer, if you're listening, please don't do anything. Please don't make us take back these words. We like you so much. Every time we pick someone we really like, something comes out. Don't be that guy. Be better.
Tune in next week.
Don't have us do a retraction
Yeah,
episode.
please don't.
here.
Please don't.
But yeah, it's just monumental. And so when you think about it, though, it's not just all these like giant properties like Call of Duty. I mean, it
Oh,
is.
yeah. What are
but
they
it's
getting?
all of these giant properties. Call of Duty. You got Warcraft. You have Diablo.
Overwatch.
StarCraft.
Oh, wow,
StarCraft.
yeah.
You have all these things. But not only is it just that, they also own former PlayStation like brand things,
I
which
know.
is Spyro the Dragon they own.
Yep.
They own Crash Bandicoot now.
Yep.
And so like they own all of these other just ancillary things on top of it. And it's just like, wow, it's just a whole lot of properties they can start to develop and do things with or not. Like there's a lot of oomph to it when you get down to it.
I don't think we're going to see any of this for quite some
Oh,
time. I
no,
think
no,
it's
yes.
definitely going to be like, oh man, I'm so excited. And then 3 years?
Minimum.
The deal isn't
5
even through
years?
yet.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
deal still has another
The
year or
federal
so.
March.
Yeah.
Federal Trade
Before
Commission
it's-
has to look it over? Yeah.
That's
So
right.
Yes.
there's definitely a lot of talk of, hey, this is the offer, and it does seem like it is going through, but things could change within the offer over
Does
the
them
next
buying
year.
this create a monopoly and then prevent trade from other parts of the country kind of thing?
Yeah. Which,
Yeah.
again, when you think about it, it doesn't, but
Yeah.
I completely see why it should be looked at. Just purely
You got to be
because.
checked. That's a big number.
It's a
Yeah.
big number.
The idea
It's a
that we were talking about
ginormous
12
number.
billion being like the most we've ever seen a company be bought for, and then this is 70 billion.
This is
68
5
billion.
times the amount of that.
Like that's going to turn some heads. That's a
Yep.
power move that we
Yeah.
haven't seen.
Yeah.
It's so much money. I can't even. 12 billion was so much I couldn't fathom.
right?
So
Gosh.
the Easter egg of this announcement, as I feel like they had, what, Joe, was it 3 different CEOs?
Yes.
3 different CEOs mentioned the phrase metaverse.
Oh, yeah.
Imply that Microsoft is creating like this one universe for all of their games. Basically, someone there watched or read Ready Player One, and then instead of taking the message away from that, like maybe we shouldn't do this, they were like, we should do this exactly. Think of all the money we could make. So they didn't obviously add any details, but they were kind of implying that they want to create like this environment where instead of like you load into a game and you have all those game assets and you close that game and the game is gone, is like maybe I am wearing I think they said like a Halo helmet, but then you're gonna go over here and I'm gonna have like the suit from a completely different game, or like a World of Warcraft armor now. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna have an Overwatch gun, all for one character, all in one place, because it's like
It sounded like a sandbox, like a fun,
yeah.
like, you know, we're gonna mesh everything together as best as possible. It was interesting sounding.
Yeah. That is pretty interesting.
I think the main move that this is all going to push towards is Game Pass becoming like the standard for gaming in the future.
they did say that was their, obviously the metaverse is like distant goal. They said near term they're trying to buy Activision Blizzard to give more content to Game Pass.
I would
Right.
assume. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
definitely.
They said all of the games they can put on Game Pass, they will.
I didn't Xbox get Ubisoft Plus this week too?
Yeah, they got Ubisoft Connect, which is
Right.
what Uplay used to be called.
Okay.
And so, yeah, they added Rainbow Six Extraction this week, as well as Rainbow Six Siege.
But
So-
that's
wow.
just a collab. They don't own them, right?
Correct.
They
Yeah,
don't
no,
own
no,
them,
they
but
don't own them.
they're bringing Ubisoft's Game Pass to their
So
collection.
Sony could come in and be like, you want some more dollars? We got bigger dollars.
but they can't.
I feel like-
because Microsoft has all the dollars.
Yeah, I think this is kind of like leading into Microsoft being the Disney of the gaming world, right? Like
Yeah.
Disney doing what they did with Star Wars and with Marvel and now 20th Century Fox and acquiring all of these IPs. I feel like Microsoft is doing the exact same thing, but in video games. They're going, no, we'll take that.
I think the key difference is that we've seen Disney use those franchises and they've been largely successful. And we've seen a lot of acquisitions by Microsoft, but we haven't seen anything come out of it yet.
True.
So I'm sure that they're hoping all of their investments will pay off, but I'm really interested to see like, hey, is the second Senua's going to be good under your leadership, or did you just buy something and then you didn't know how to handle it? And
Yep.
I mean, we don't have any evidence to think that it won't go well, but
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see what actually happens.
I agree. And in reality, I think more so the Disney of gaming is Tencent.
Yeah, I look at it like that.
Just has been buying all these different corporate. They're mainly smaller ones, but they have been doing that. It shows
Don't they
that
own
they're
a
the
lot
number
of the
one.
phone games?
Yeah, they own a lot of phone stuff. So
Which is the biggest of all
which
of
is-
the moneymakers in the video game industry.
Yep,
Yeah.
it is bigger than even consoles,
Yep.
bigger than PC gaming.
Yep,
It is
yep.
the number one, gaming,
bigger than movies, bigger than
bigger than
music,
everything.
bigger the phone gaming.
phone gaming
Your
itself.
where
phone
the money's
console is the console everyone has.
Exactly. Exactly. And it also brings into light some stuff that Phil Spencer had said over the last couple of months about Activision Blizzard. because I remember, I think it was last month, I think in December, he was like, hey, we are kind of reevaluating our stance of Activision Blizzard because of all these things coming out, the way that they're, and so they're like, yeah, we're reevaluating our relationship, we're reevaluating a bunch of things, and it's like, oh no, you were talking about acquisition. This is
there was even like a Zoom call or something that he was on, and had a picture of him at his home office, and in like the back right corner on a shelf, you saw a little placard that said Activision, and you were just thinking, oh, he's just a fan. It's like, nah, he's an owner.
I'm buying that. What if he was like in a call and he's like, hey, we can't do business with you guys anymore, it's bad for our reputation, and they were like, can you just help us? We just really need someone. We don't know what we're doing. And he's like, oh no, it's fine. What if we buy you? Like, please, I don't want to do this anymore.
Also, what we need to try to do is try to sneak in a Taste of Dragons like logo into his room on a shelf.
Yeah, we need to break into his house.
And then someone sees it, and it's like, you got to acquire us now, buddy. It's on the shelf.
It's on the shelf.
That's
on the shelf.
like a contract.
I'm gonna look up where he lives.
Listen. We'll give you a bargain. It's not going to be billions, all right? Listen, well,
the Taste of Dragons does not condone breaking and entering.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know, maybe just lunch.
We'll take lunch with you. That's fine.
I got a low bar.
Yeah, buy lunch.
So here's the fun thing: is what is Sony gonna do now after this two really big buyouts between Bethesda getting Skyrim and Fallout and all those amazing franchises and legacy games, getting Activision Blizzard now with all these current games which are really popular, Call of Duty
they should
Overwatch.
buy CD Projekt Red
And fix it?
Or hear me out, guys, they still have Spider-Man.
They do.
Yeah.
They still have some good games.
It's funny. We've been seeing the meme everywhere, but it's still one of those, like, you realize that Sony's still above Microsoft with gaming, even with this purchase. Like, they don't need to do anything. I mean, I'm sure they're thinking about things.
For sure
I'm sure they're going to be doing a bunch of other things, but like, again, they still don't have to because they are still above Microsoft.
I feel like whatever their answer to Game Pass will be enough.
Yeah,
agreed.
Because that's what's in the works, or that's rumored to be what's in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever their answer to Game Pass is, it will undoubtedly not be enough because it's Sony and it's not an American company. They don't think the way we do with things. I think it will be very different. It'll be much more like Nintendo, I think, and how their online offerings are. But ultimately, they don't need to.
No.
Yeah, even their PlayStation Now, like, they could have done nothing and still.
They are sunsetting PlayStation Now when they come out with a new PlayStation version of Game Pass. They have to call it PlayStation Game Pass. I know they're not legally allowed to, but like everyone's just going to call it that.
They just call it the PlayStation Pass.
There you go. Yeah.
Boom. Alliteration.
Play
everything.
Pass.
Play Pass.
Oh, I like Play Pass.
Right?
So
Yeah.
its shortening is PP?
No, it's the PlayStation Play Pass, so it's PPP.
PPP. Much better.
Yeah.
P makes a difference.
Oh, no, it's the PlayStation Pass, so it's the PSP.
Yeah.
Oh, bringing it back.
Bringing it back. I like that. All right. Let me just, okay. The Sony fanboy in me has got to just get something off my chest real quick. I apologize.
Go for it.
But I knew this day would come. I knew this day would come because Sony has been nurturing companies for many years, like Insomniac and Naughty Dog, and giving them a good platform to make really incredible games. The people who make God of War at Santa Monica Studio, like, they've been nurturing a lovely culture of great game developers. And then Microsoft just comes in here and just buys out everyone else. You can't like, what are we doing, Mike? What is, like, I'm angry. I'm a little angry at it. I feel like they can't make good games, so they're just gonna buy everyone else's good games and then try to
because
get on top.
They don't believe in nurturing. They just believe in throwing money at it, right? That's what it seems like.
I'm just saying, if
that is a form of nurturing.
It is.
You know what?
That is what
it sounds like, I hope they nurture me that way.
I would love to get nurtured that way.
that is just what venture capital is.
I know. Look, the adult in me understands this is really good for business, and it's going to drive both companies and all companies to kind of like, reevaluate how they do things. And it's really good for Activision Blizzard to get rid of the old regime and get in a good regime, especially for the workers, especially if the workers are looking to possibly unionize and things like that. Like, there is a lot of good things that can come from it. But I'm still a little angry.
On the other side, like just to play the devil's advocate, is larger corporations buying all of the smaller corporations isn't exactly great for market because it makes it harder for smaller studios to stand out. We have been seeing a lot of like standout indie studios recently because the larger AAA games have been having a harder time developing. But like a future where Microsoft and Sony own everything is also not ideal.
Exactly. An upside though is that in the gaming sphere, it is a lot easier to be seen as a smaller studio. There is a lot of things, you still have Steam, you still have a bunch of other things where you see everything that comes out that week. You still see, they still
but marketing budget, man.
But marketing. I completely get it. But like, it is still, at least in gaming specifically, it is a lot easier to be seen that way than I think it is even for movies or even for plays.
Absolutely,
it's a lot easier to be seen gaming wise as a one-person, studio than it is in other industries. So there's the one upside.
I hear you.
And to a degree, it might actually hurt some of the smaller studios that have been bought up because you're now part of a large conglomerate and
get lost.
Yeah, there are ups and downs, job security, but then you don't have creative control. So.
I hope that Bobby Kotick has lost job security immensely, and they
That's what
find
I wanted
some
to
way.
talk about.
I don't want to be a jerk about this, but like I was so happy to hear that he has someone above him now, and that someone above him seems like a very decent human being. I am hoping they find some way to be able to take all of the money they gave him in the last couple of years away from him. That's what I want. I want that so badly. I don't know what it is. I'm disturbed by how much terrible stuff happened under his watch.
And the cynic in me is the part that makes me feel bad that this went through because I feel like Activision Blizzard, at least their leadership, doesn't deserve this type of bailout.
Correct, yeah.
Right.
Like, the part of me that was like they should just burn it all and start over because the idea that Bobby Kotick just made a bunch of money.
Yep.
Yeah, but
He sold his company, and I understand
there's
there's
like
great
50
people.
leaders and like 1,000 employees.
I know exactly, which is why I'm mixed about it because I'm happy for the people that are going to have better work environments, but also the people that have been benefiting off of horrible things are continuing to benefit.
He'll take all of his money and then he'll go live in a cave or something.
That's
Like
our
a
hope.
troll. Like a troll that he is.
Like a troll.
It's a big risk Microsoft is taking because they're taking on all the legal troubles too, and we don't know where that's going to end or where that's going to go. So.
Probably not $67 billion worth of fees, though.
Yeah, I feel like I would have given him a smaller number. I would have been like, I don't know, 30.
I think that they could buy them because of all the legal trouble.
Yep.
I was about to say, I
It was
think it's
much
probably going to
less
be worked
expensive than it
into.
would have been,
Yeah,
Right,
I think it's going to
right.
be worked into the price and everything.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, it always just makes me angry that like Mando was saying, the top 50 people and they have 1,000 employees, but where like those top 50 people make as much as those bottom 1,000 employees, and in the grand scheme of things, they're not earning it. There's no way you're doing 50 people is doing the work of the 1,000 people actually making the games, and that's one of the things I always hate about
capitalism.
Yes, but this type of culture,
Generally, how the world works. Yeah.
Yes.
America works. We'll just put that out there.
Right. Yeah.
but yeah, and that's just one of the things that's always just like, man, like really, you gave them $280 million as a bonus, and that could have employed how many people? That could have employed 2,000 people for a year.
Easy.
On even on whatever the crazy salaries.
Maybe
they
just
have.
improved your HR department.
Yeah, you could have done many other things with that money than give it to one person. And so that's what I hope. I hope they find some way to not give him his settlement or his severance or anything else like that. That's my goal.
Goal.
That's my goal. That's my personal goal.
Wow.
That's
Your
my
New Year's resolution.
I have two goals.
I have two goals.
Make sure that guy does get a severance, sneak into Phil Spencer's house and get a Taste of Dragon sticker on
Listen,
the wall.
I can do both of those things with just sneaking into his house. I'm just saying. I can get both of those stones out of the way with just one stone into a window. That's all I'm saying.
No.
Future FBI agent listening to this episode. We have no intention at this time of doing this hack.
At this time.
This time.
We'll see how the acquisition goes.
Maybe
y'all.
later.
We are just want to make sure to say that we are in no way connected to the breaking and entering by Bobby Kotick into Phil's house. That was not Brian in a Bobby mask.
Not at all.
It was not our robot.
But yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, it's fresh news. It just happened a couple of days ago or yesterday, whatever it was.
Things are still coming out of it. There was a tweet by Phil Spencer like 3 hours ago to all Sony fans being like, listen, no, Call of Duty will still be on Sony. Don't worry.
I saw that.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
any existing contracts that Sony has with Activision Blizzard will continue. We don't know what those contracts are. but just
Exactly.
anyone who's afraid they may lose
But
their.
I saw that and I thought it was really nice, especially at the end. It's like we respect Sony in the industry and they're important. And it's like, oh yeah.
And also at the end of the day, they are out there to make money. It's not like
I get it.
So
Yeah.
so Call of Duty, you're not going to get a whole lot of people to go away from Sony just to buy an Xbox to play that.
No.
So you would sell more copies to also still continue to put
and
it
they would
onto
still
PlayStation.
make some money through Microsoft if it's played on
Yes.
PlayStation. That doesn't
Exactly.
take
So-
money away
And
from
they've
them.
been talking a lot about collaborating more. So maybe if they
Oh,
make
yeah.
a metaverse, maybe the implication is that, I mean, crossplay is becoming more and more of a thing.
Yeah.
If
It
I can
is.
crossplay, then people are more likely to play my game. And if that's the case, then maybe having something on Sony makes sense. Or maybe having a one place where, like a BattleNet, where everyone
Yeah.
can play in one place makes more sense than.
Hey, Sony, we're thinking about collaborating and by buying you out. How does that sound to you?
Whoa.
Speaking of
okay?
the FCC, I don't know if that particularly.
Yeah, but just look at this number. Look at this
I
number.
think they'd
Let
have
me
a
know if it
better
makes you
chance
feel
buying
anything.
Tencent.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably. I can't
Or
imagine.
Nintendo. Could they get
Or
Nintendo?
Nintendo.
Could they
I
get
think they'd
Nintendo?
have- no, I don't
Could
think
they be-
Sony or Nintendo would do it.
I think every
Yeah.
single time they've approached Sony or anybody's approached Sony, Sony's approach has always been pound sand. That is always, I think, Sony's response to anything that anybody's tried to do with them.
What does that mean?
Don't.
I mean,
We're not
don't.
interested
You're not
at
doing
all.
anything.
Nothing
Oh,
you
okay,
could
okay.
possibly say
Yeah.
could ever change our minds. We're not even
Gotcha.
considering.
Nintendo
But
has
if you were
done
to
the
punch
same.
sand, how much is that going to get done? Nothing, which is
Gotcha.
what that is. You can go pound sand.
Yeah.
So
I feel
But
like you could.
Tencent, on the other hand, is the government there has been cracking down so hard on them and making it so that they can't make anywhere near as much money that I feel like that would almost be something they'd be willing to get rid of.
still can't though because it's still owned by the Chinese government.
It's true.
Part of Activision Blizzard is owned by the Chinese government, so I'll be interested to see how they handle that. But Xbox probably has something similar if they sell games in the market.
Everyone does.
Yeah, everybody. If you sell,
Everyone's-
if you sell in the Chinese in China, you have some sort of it has to be owned by China.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a great racket.
Yeah.
Great racket. But yeah, so we'll see where this goes. We'll see how it goes. You know, we'll update you guys on anything because it's interesting. It's a brand new day.
It's a brand new day.
And if Microsoft wants a video game podcast,
Hey,
I mean, while we're just buying things out,
right? While you're
I
buying
mean, you
stuff,
saw our sticker on Phil Spencer's shelf.
Shelf.
I mean, you gotta pick
He's
us
a
up
fan.
now.
He's a big fan.
big fan. But y'all, I think that'll do it for this topic. Yeah, like I said, we'll see how it goes. But now, Hassel has got his great Volume 2 remixed edition of Now That's What I Call Video Games.
guys, I'm so excited. You guys have no idea.
We don't.
You don't. So everybody, this is that's what I call Video Games Volume 2. This is the second time I'm going to be doing this segment. Basically, what this segment is I have looked up premises to some video games, and I've written them down,
Okay.
and I'm going to read some of these to you.
Okay.
All right.
It is your job to
Okay.
tell me which one I made up.
Okay.
So today, we have 4 video games.
Okay.
Okay.
oh gosh,
Beautiful.
One of
Beautiful.
them was made up by me. The rest are actual video games.
Okay.
And we're all gonna vote, and then you're gonna tell us.
Right. I only want one answer from all of you. Because
All right.
last
Okay.
time you guys were like, oh, let's all give our answers. And obviously that meant that one of you was right.
yeah,
Yeah.
we gamed the game.
There are 5 of us now, though, so we couldn't possibly do that.
Right.
I think we can. I think
Well,
we-
no, I mean, because 2 people are gonna balance on one, so he would be like, "You were wrong." So unless one of us abstains, we'll talk strat after.
We'll
Yeah,
get
we'll-
Yeah,
let's
well,
listen
I'll
to
let
this
you
first,
guys
and then
talk
we'll
strategy,
argue
okay?
our point whether we should vote or not.
Okay. So, you guys ready?
Ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here we go. First game. In this game, you play as someone who is really tired of their neighbors having loud parties.
Okay.
Instead of calling the police, you decide it's a better idea to take everyone down using your faithful knife and the environment.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay.
What is this?
The story of this tactical strategy follows a series of killings at parties throughout the U.S.
Okay. I hope this is
This
not the one
game-
you made up.
Wait. Do these people live next door to Lewis? Because he.
Is this the Lewis story?
This game has semi-procedurally generated environments and focuses on unique ways of killing people. In the greatest traditions of stealth games, your main goal is not to get caught while silently picking off unsuspecting victims one by one. Dancing and blending in a suspicious situation is key.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, this is horrible.
It's just Hitman.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's Assassin's Creed.
This is fantastic.
It's that game that I forgot I own that. Played on stream. The like the pixely looking one.
We'll see it. We'll see
All
it.
right.
Oh.
I got some ideas.
All right. You guys ready for number 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, here's number 2. In this game, you build your own garden and watch it grow with new plants, bushes, trees, and animals. As you play and expand your garden, you will attract helpers, round blue creatures that will help you pick up things and harvest your plants. If you want, you can pluck trees and harvest plants yourself, or let your helpers do the work for you while you watch or build and invest in new plants.
Okay.
It's good to keep your eyes open, though, as sometimes mean critters may invade your garden.
No.
Hunt them out yourself or invest in a guard dog to keep the order.
Oh,
Okay.
a garden dog. A garden dog.
Ah.
A garden dog.
Guard and
Garden dog.
Last line of this one. Go up in level to unlock new plants, bushes, trees, and animals to continue to expand and improve your garden.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's a nice relaxing game. That's a
like
sharp 180 from that previous game. Sharp 180.
Trust me, it gets better. Ready?
Okay.
Okay.
Here's a third game. In this game, you play as a stray cat who's found refuge in an old abandoned Victorian mansion during a cold and rainy night. Using the environment in your surroundings, you must find your way out of the mansion before sunrise, all while uncovering the mysterious disappearance of the family who once lived in this expansive manor.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Keep your eyes open for stray dogs who are unwelcoming of new visitors and mice who could lead you in the right or wrong direction. Uncover secrets, solve puzzles, and experience 9 lives in one night.
That's
Oh
great.
man. Oh gosh, a cat murder mystery sounds fantastic. A Victorian cat murder mystery.
All right,
So that one better be real, or we're
Better
gonna be
be
really
real.
disappointed.
Don't you dare.
You guys ready?
All right. What's
This is
number
the last
4?
one.
Yes.
Here we go. This game is the first episode in a game series that fuses elements of spaghetti western film, gunslinging outlaws, brave lawmen, and the untamed wilderness with classic RPG storyline and gameplay, 90s console RPGs like Final Fantasy, Earthbound, and Chrono Trigger created lasting memories and impacted us as gamers. Now, this game brings back those experiences while revitalizing the genre with a Wild West spin and innovative new gameplay elements. It's an experimental combination of old and new ideas intended to bring a new and unique experience to modern gamers and old school fans alike. It's an epic Wild West adventure unpacked with excitement, intrigue, and a dose of humor.
All right. So that last one has to be real because the only word it's missing is synergy when it comes to marketing.
I feel like a detective. This is great.
I'm with Joe. I think the first one is Hello Neighbor.
Yeah.
I think it's Party Hard.
Oh.
I think it's called Party Hard.
I can't remember the name. I just know that I literally watched a game that is this exact thing.
It is.
And the second one sounded like Slime Rancher.
The second
Slime
one,
Rancher.
you made it sound like it was just an episode of The Smurfs.
Yep.
Like all of a sudden, these blue creatures come into your garden. I'm like, oh.
Or okay. That
Smurf
one,
Simulation, 2021.
the third
Smurf
one
Simulator
I've never heard of.
2021.
Welcome to Gargamel.
I agree with you all. Tired of the Neighbors, Kill Them does sound like a game I've seen on Game Pass that was featured a little while back. I think like some dude with a mustache sneaking around yards and stuff. It may not be that, but I think I'm with you. Number
Yes.
one is a
Number
real
one's
game.
a game. Number one's definitely a game.
What about number 2? Build the Garden Smurfs. Smurfs, no
So that
Smurfs.
sounds like Slime Rancher, doesn't that? What
It does, but it also sounds generic enough that it could just be like 5 games.
There's no dogs in Slime Rancher, right? It's all like just weird creatures. There's not like actual animals.
I don't
in
think
there.
there's any
I
dogs.
play a
in-
lot of farming sims, so I'm just like imagining farming
I
sims
know,
that it
yeah.
could be, but that might just be me.
I don't remember Slime Rancher having guard dogs.
And
I
I'm
agree.
trying to think of a gardening game that where you could have
Does
a
Stardew
guard
Valley
dog.
have gardening dogs? Or
No, it doesn't have.
like
No,
that?
it
You
doesn't
have
guard
a
dogs.
dog. or
No.
a cat, but not but doesn't do anything.
There's a
Yeah.
new one coming out called OVA, which is got like.
There's also Garden Story as well.
Oh,
Okay.
and the one with the grapes, the tax evasion one with the turnips
So,
too.
Yeah.
second game is a maybe. We're not
Maybe.
sure.
Second is a
we have
maybe.
some
Second
ideas.
is a
Okay.
maybe. I would go with that.
Third game, Stray Cat, the Victorian murder mystery. I'm gonna say yes because I want to will that into being a game.
I feel like that one's fake, but only because I haven't heard of it and I'm really excited.
Right?
You're right,
Yeah.
Amanda. You would know
I'm
with
with
that game.
Amanda.
I feel like that one's fake
Very
too.
excited
Because that one seems really cool.
But last time we did this, he
Death's Door,
described
right?
Death's Door, and I was just like, I have to buy this right now.
yeah, it's like there's no way.
It's on Games Pass now, by the
And-
way.
Yeah,
Well, I already bought it.
Myself,
but-
she did buy that.
I did buy it. I did buy that game. And then the fourth one,
The spaghetti western
That
JRPG. It reminded me of Wild Arms. Didn't they? Isn't Wild Arms what he was describing? Which is
It
an
sounded
an
a lot
old
like Wild Arms.
Yeah, it's an old
RPG.
game. Yeah, it's an
Like,
old game.
So that's my only suspicion with that one is if someone was like, "Hey, here's a spaghetti western RPG like Chrono Cross and Final Fantasy," as it being like a new thing, then either this is talking about Wild Arms, which came out in the 90s.
It could also be Weird West.
I was gonna say, I'm like, it made me think of Weird
Or
West.
I
it's
haven't heard of that.
enough generic statements together to sound like it's definitely a game.
True.
Yeah. I'm between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
That could be the fake. I don't know where you
I
all
agree.
are at.
I agree.
Same.
I agree.
It's gonna be 2.
So we think number
Yeah, it's gotta be
Are we
two.
sure number 2 is a real game?
Number 2
I'm
is.
not sure.
I'm not too
It
sure.
sounds
generic
like
enough.
it's gonna
It's
be
generic
Dang.
enough. Yeah.
Hassel, you got us good with this one, bud.
Yeah, 'cause-
Look at him. He's fist pumping.
He's doing the Jersey Shore fist pump.
I'm gonna vote 4.
Okay,
You're
voting
voting
for
4?
four?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm voting 3.
Gosh.
Only
Okay.
because I want that to be a game.
Yeah.
And,
You hope you're
and
wrong.
I feel like that's like Stray mixed with like a bunch of other things, and I feel like Hassel would hone in on that.
When he said
to
cat, I
make it-
thought Stray. I'm like, that game's not out yet. Who would
There
have
are lots
that?
of games with cats, guys.
There absolutely are. There absolutely are. So and it could also be an indie game as well. Like it could
It
be
could
one
be.
of those, one of those indie
And I want
games.
to play it.
Amanda, the biggest point you made for the third game, the cat game being fake, is that you don't know about it. Like,
That's where I was going with as well.
That's a good point.
I'm kind of
I want to be very honest with you guys.
Uh-huh.
All of these are indies.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
That's fine.
That's expected.
if you were
None
like-
of these sound like triple.
Number 3 is FIFA. What?
Number 2 is FIFA. It's the ball. Yeah.
I need to play FIFA 2022 right now.
Oh my god! If the next FIFA game had gardening, I'd be really conflicted.
Right? You just work as a groundskeeper trying
I
to
was about
keep
to say, you actually
the
just
lawn.
work
my
as a
God,
groundkeeper.
if that's
You're
an
working to make sure the
option-
grass is good.
I won't lie. If there was just a grass cutting game, I might.
There's a lawnmower
There's lawnmowing
simulator.
simulator. There is. There's also a power washing simulator.
You can
I
check out your lawnmower.
I bought the house fixing game, which is basically that.
It is, yeah.
Oh gosh, someone else make go.
Okay, so
I'm
I'm
not
voting
decided.
3. I'm
You're-
voting 3.
Brian's
I'm voting
3.
4.
Yeah.
Amanda's 4.
I'm really torn between 3 and 4 because I want to vote 3 because I feel like
I'm
that's
gonna
got to be
s-
what it is. I've never heard about
I'm gonna
it.
say. I'm gonna
But
say
I
3.
also don't want to vote that one because I want that to be a real game.
I know, but I'm gonna say 3 because again, just that one point that Amanda made. You haven't heard about it. That's a big deal.
2 votes for 3, 1 vote for 4.
Yeah.
Joe,
Joe, what do you got?
I'm gonna vote 3.
3.
Voting 3.
Troy,
I'll go 4.
all right.
I'll go 4.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
got 3 3s and 2
So-
4s.
So
In general, I think we're going 3 then, if majority
Yes.
rule.
Well, I mean, we don't have to vote all together.
That's
No,
true.
it's
True,
fine.
true,
It's
true.
fine.
Okay, so game number 1
Yes.
is called Party Hard.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah, it's definitely a game where you get to kill your neighbors because they're being too loud. And
That's
honestly,
insane.
that game resonates with me. Number 2,
Uh-huh.
the cute little farming game,
Yes.
has the coolest name that I've ever heard. It is a real game. It's called Plantera.
Oh, Plantera, that's what it was. That's on my Steam wish list. I couldn't recall the blue orbs. No, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Plantera.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Okay, so game number
Okay.
1 and game number 2 were
Are real
real,
games,
which
yes.
means that
Yeah.
some of us are correct.
yes.
Yay!
Yes, some of you guys are correct.
And by the way, Plantera is also an extremely cheap game. It's like $2.
Oh,
And
wow.
if you get
Yeah.
on sale, it's like under $1. So
Okay,
Fair
thanks.
enough.
All right, well done, Brian.
you're welcome.
Number 3, the Cat Victorian Mystery
Yes.
is called A Perfect Night.
I'm very happy.
We all win. We
And it's
all win.
100% fake.
What?
No!
Man, Hassel, Amanda was on her phone looking that up. Amanda was so excited. She had already typed in a purr.
Damn, you had a title and
broke
everything.
Troy.
So Troy.
Well played.
I love how you had the name of
Yeah, damn. You had the title.
100%.
Oh God, I'm in tears
Nice.
over here.
it. Nice.
You had me excited that the game was real. You had me excited that I guessed the right one. You had me excited that Amanda was excited.
I voted right, and I'm disappointed.
The title was believable. A perfect night. It's like, what?
It's definitely spelled with
God.
a U.
Yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the fourth game is called Boot Hill Heroes,
Oh.
which is a 90s style RPG that's a Western. But yeah, so those of you who guessed number 3, you guys are right. A Perfect Night, totally made up by me. It is definitely a game that as I was writing it, I was like, I really want to play this game.
Why does winning feel like losing?
right?
Absolutely terrible.
I mean, we've all won, but we've definitely lost. We've
Oh, yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
lost.
Yeah. But this is what this game is all about. It is about feeling like you've won, but ultimately knowing that you lost.
Dang. Wow. Beautiful.
Damn, that's a
Poetic.
good. That's a good pitch for a game, though, man.
This is Dark Souls, the segments. Thanks, Hassel.
But you got us. You got us.
Fantastic
Good. Yes,
work.
thank
Fantastic
you so much.
work.
Oh
What
my
a great
goodness.
volume 2. What a great volume
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for the remix. I can't wait.
Oh, that'll
I'm
be
eventually
funny.
going to come up with the Kids Bop version.
Or we do this like 6 times, and then Hassel comes back and re-explains games, and we have to pick out the real one out of all of his fake ones.
Oh,
Try to
man.
remember
Gosh.
which one was real. A remix.
that'd be
Oh, I
great.
love it.
I visualized that cat game, man.
Man,
Yeah.
same here, man.
Amanda had the best argument.
That just means
she would have heard
that
about
just
it.
means,
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? TM. Trademark.
What's that?
Trademark Taste of Dragons.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect
Yes.
night.
Thank you.
Perfect night,
Thank you.
TM.
Brian, if you could get up making that game, we could really appreciate it.
Perfect
Yep.
night.
No problem. No problem.
So we can all workshop this, writing it out. And Brian, yeah?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got it.
Witcher.net, a perfect night.
What's your dot tech?
Tech.
Tech.
Dot tech.
Yep. Brian, we are going to need this by next week, though, just letting you know. So,
Okay. All right.
we understand that you have a regular 9-to-5 job, but we're going to have to put that aside for this week.
We heard from our shareholders. If you could have it by Wednesday,
Yeah, that's when our acquisition's going to be by Microsoft.
Oh, man.
so
Oh, you're right.
we
You're
gotta
right.
get that.
Right.
it doesn't
Oh,
have to
man.
work. Just make it look like it works.
You got it.
That's all that
You
matters.
got it. It's this podcast. I got it.
Yeah.
So well, that was that's everything I wanted from that segment. We're great. But unfortunately, though, that brings us to the end of this week's episode.
We made it. We made it. We're here.
But you can always find us online.
Are you looking for more Taste of Dragons content? Then check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, or Twitch for more discussions, more video games, and more all around, more sandwiches. We are at Taste of Dragons everywhere, and we'd love to hear from you.
That's right. Until we're acquired, we're going to be there. So, as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
Amanda.
I'm Lewis.
I'm Hassel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are...
The Taste of Dragons. Brought to you by Microsoft.
That's right. Have a great week, everyone. All right, so what's the lowest we would go for the amount that we would take?
At 70 billion.
At
A million.
At least 9 billion.
9 billion.
3
1
pieces.
million.
I was going to say at least 9 sandwiches.
Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast, a podcast for everyone's taste.